Mayer Amschel Rothschild, born in 1744 in the heart of the city of Frankfurt, Germany, grew up in an environment where financial success seemed far out of reach. His father, Amschel Moses Rothschild, worked as a money changer, a job that was essential in the Jewish community of Frankfurt. However, the Rothschild family was far from wealthy. In fact, Mayer's family struggled to make ends meet, especially during the tumultuous period in Europe. Despite these early challenges, Mayer's intelligence and sharp mind set him apart from the others in his community. From a young age, he showed a natural talent for mathematics and trade, skills that would lay the foundation for his future empire. Mayer's childhood was shaped by the restrictive laws placed on Jews in Germany. While they were not allowed to own land or engage in many forms of trade, money lending became one of the few legal financial activities for Jews at the time. This limitation, however, would become Mayer's gateway to success. It was within the niche of money lending that Mayer saw a unique opportunity to build something far greater than anyone could imagine. He started by lending small amounts to wealthy families and nobles in Frankfurt, gradually earning a reputation for his honesty and sharp financial judgment. At the age of 14, Mayer was sent to Hanover for an apprenticeship with a merchant, which broadened his exposure to the larger European trade networks. During these formative years, he developed a deep understanding of the complexities of European trade, currency, and the financial systems of the time. He quickly realized that to build real wealth, it wasn't enough to just exchange money. He needed to control the flow of capital and influence financial decision-making on a larger scale. By the time he returned to Frankfurt, Mayer had developed a sophisticated understanding of how money and power intertwined in the European elite. As a young man in the 1760s, Mayer took over his father's business, and by then, he had already started making valuable connections within the world of European finance. His breakthrough came when he became involved with the Landgraves of Hesse-Kassel, a noble family with a substantial need for financial services. The Landgraves were in the process of recruiting soldiers for Napoleon's wars, and Mayer offered them a loan to cover their mercenary expenses. It was a risky move, but Mayer's knowledge of currency and his ability to predict political events gave him an edge. This transaction marked the beginning of Rothschild's rise as a trusted, financial partner for royalty and nobility across Europe. Mayer's success was not just about providing loans to wealthy families. He also used his skills to anticipate political events and capitalize on financial opportunities. In the 1780s, Mayer began to understand that the key to amassing wealth wasn't just in lending money. It was in knowing when to move capital in response to geopolitical shifts. For example, when European conflicts, such as the Napoleonic Wars, seemed imminent, Mayer would position his capital in ways that would allow him to profit regardless of the outcome of these wars. He used information networks to stay ahead of political and economic changes, giving him a critical advantage in his dealings. By the early 1800s, Mayer had established a powerful banking house in Frankfurt, but his ambitions didn't stop there. He knew that to expand his influence and reach more clients, he needed to spread his banking operations beyond the borders of Germany. So Mayer's next strategic move was to send his 5 sons to different European cities: London, Paris, Vienna, Naples, and Frankfurt. Each son was tasked with expanding the family business in these financial capitals, turning the Rothschild name into a global financial force. Mayer's innovative approach to banking didn't just involve expanding geographically. He also focused on building a complex network of political and financial connections. For example, Rothschild's bank played a crucial role in financing Britain's war efforts against Napoleon. Through his sons in London, Mayer provided large loans to the British government, ensuring that they had the capital they needed to fight on multiple fronts. In return, Rothschild secured preferential access to the British government's financial decisions and profits from war bonds. This was just one example of how Rothschild cleverly intertwined banking with state politics, creating a symbiotic relationship that would ensure his family's financial success for generations. Mayer's ability to anticipate and adapt to political events allowed the Rothschild family to thrive even during the most turbulent periods of European history. His banking house provided loans to several European governments during the Napoleonic Wars, and his ability to manage vast amounts of capital across different countries made him an indispensable figure in European finance. Mayer Rothschild was now considered one of the wealthiest men in Europe, but his rise was far from over. His influence stretched beyond just monetary deals. He was now deeply involved in shaping the policies of European governments. By the time Mayer passed away in 1812, he had built a financial empire that spanned across Europe. His 5 sons continued his work, growing the family's influence and wealth to even greater heights. The Rothschild banking empire would continue to dominate the financial world throughout the 19th and early 20th centuries. The legacy of Mayer Amschel Rothschild's vision, innovation, and strategic thinking would remain one of the most enduring aspects of modern banking. Mayer Amschel Rothschild's legacy truly took shape after his death in 1812, when his 5 sons, all trained in the art of banking, expanded the family empire across Europe. Each son took charge of one of the major European financial capitals. Nathan Rothschild moved to London. James Rothschild went to Paris. Salomon Rothschild settled in Vienna. Karl Rothschild went to Naples. And Amschel Rothschild remained in Frankfurt, continuing the family's original operations. This international expansion was pivotal in cementing the Rothschild family's dominance in European finance. Through his sons, Mayer created a global network of financial institutions, each one operating independently but deeply connected to the others. This strategy allowed the Rothschilds to have their hands in every major European financial transaction, from government bonds to international trade. In essence, they controlled the flow of capital across the continent, influencing the economic policies of entire nations. One of the most notable achievements of the Rothschild banking empire was its involvement in funding the British government during the Napoleonic Wars. Nathan Rothschild, based in London, played a central role in financing Britain's war efforts against Napoleon. In 1815, after the Battle of Waterloo, Nathan was instrumental in arranging the financing of the British government's war bonds. He used his sophisticated financial network to secure funds from investors across Europe and arranged the sale of these bonds to the public. This success not only secured Britain's victory but also significantly increased the Rothschild family's wealth and influence. Nathan was reputed to have been the first to receive the news of Napoleon's defeat, giving him the opportunity to buy government bonds before the rest of the market reacted. His ability to act quickly and capitalize on such events solidified the Rothschilds as one of the most powerful financial families in the world. The Rothschild family's success wasn't just in finance. They were also deeply involved in shaping the political landscape of Europe. Their wealth gave them the power to influence governments and policymakers, forging relationships with kings, prime ministers, and military leaders. They were key players in funding railways, building infrastructure, and financing the Industrial Revolution. Their influence even extended to the founding of the modern banking system, as they helped establish many of the financial institutions that still exist today. Throughout the 19th century, the Rothschild family was involved in virtually every major financial deal in Europe. They played a central role in the funding of the construction of the Suez Canal in Egypt, which opened up new trade routes between Europe and Asia. They were also involved in the financing of railways in France, Belgium, and Austria, significantly contributing to the rise of the industrial age. By the mid-1800s, the Rothschild name had become synonymous with wealth, power, and influence. However, the family's dominance began to wane in the 20th century. As new financial institutions, such as American banks and large multinational corporations, rose to prominence. The First World War brought economic turmoil, and the Rothschild Empire, like many others, was affected by the widespread financial instability. Despite these challenges, the Rothschild family adapted by diversifying their investments and expanding into new industries such as oil, mining, and real estate. They also made significant investments in art and culture, further cementing their place in history as not just financiers but also patrons of the arts. While the Rothschild family no longer holds the same level of financial power it once did, their impact on the global financial system remains undeniable. They were pioneers in international banking and set the foundation for modern financial institutions. Their strategic thinking, political connections, and innovative approaches to finance reshaped the financial world in ways that continue to influence us today. In the years following Mayer's death, the Rothschild family went on to control vast amounts of wealth and influence. But perhaps their most significant achievement was the way they forever changed the world of banking. The Rothschild legacy is one of vision, adaptability, and innovation, and while their empire may not dominate as it once did, their contributions to the world of finance and politics will never be forgotten. Mayer Rothschild's belief that "give me control of a nation's money, and I care not who makes its laws" encapsulates the family's influence, a dynasty that built its empire on understanding the power of money and how to control it. As we reflect on the legacy of Mayer Amschel Rothschild and his descendants, we realize that their story is one of extraordinary foresight, determination, and success. They laid the foundations of a financial empire that, in many ways, still influences the global economy today. From humble beginnings in Frankfurt to becoming one of the most powerful families in the world, Mayer Rothschild's vision continues to inspire generations of bankers, entrepreneurs, and leaders. The Rothschilds may not be as visible in today's financial world, but their legacy is etched into the very fabric of modern banking, a testament to the enduring power of financial innovation.